Do you have a favorite worst ex?
I truly couldn't even. If I had to rank them, I don't know. It would be difficult.
It wouldn't be like the pyramid and in Dance Moms.
Yeah. And for some reason, Colleen's been super into all my ridiculous ex stories lately. We were on the phone with the president of the Booster Club. Colleen coaches lacrosse. And Colleen's like, tell her the story about the pen. Tell her the story about your ex's dating. Tell her. I'm like, is this humiliate Anne-Marie hour? Are you paying me back for every time I humiliate you on the podcast?
She's like, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back to your weekly therapy podcast. My name is Tell Williams, or Mr. Williams if you're feeling fun and frisky. Oh, guys, I'm so tired. I'm a teacher, therapist, social worker, and over here we have...
I'm Anne-Marie DePietro, and I am still a nurse practitioner.
Still a nurse practitioner. Yeah. Today we're talking about Lavender loves and red flag relationships, and I have a giant red flag that I was kind of talking about before we got here, but... my meds haven't kicked in. I'm going to make it everyone else's problem.
Oh, my God. When did you take them?
This morning, but I'm still angry. So I was driving here, guys. And I said I was supposed to get here in 25 minutes, which is great, because then I would have had time for coffee, too. Do you see coffee at this table?
No.
You don't. And so I'm driving, and I get stuck behind. First of all, it says that it's saving me a trip by not taking a certain highway because there's an accident. And I told you, I never take that highway, so you're not saving me time. So I'm driving, and it keeps progressively going from a 25-minute drive to a full 40-minute drive for no reason. And then I'm getting on one of the back roads, and I get stuck behind a Buick that's going 35 into 50. And I have a problem
now,
with that.
specify what kind of Buick.
Old Buick, baby. We're talking old school Buick.
With the cloth top.
And then in the back of it, too, it says, child on board, baby on board. And those pisses me off because it's I'm not going to drive more or less erratic because you have a baby in your car, right? And so I'm getting really mad. I'm 35 into 50, that's outrageous. And so I go to pass them, and it's this old woman who can barely see over the steering wheel, right?
With a baby on board?
Well, that's what it says, okay? And then she starts honking, right? I mean, she's just laying on her horn as I'm passing her. What is your deal, ma'am? I need you to save that little, dust of a bag you have in a car seat because there's ain't no way you just had a baby. And I just blow past her. I'm getting worked up. And then it's dead traffic up ahead. Would that piss me off? Because then she gets up behind me, and I'm blowing her away. I'm a mile ahead. I don't see her in sight, and then it's dead traffic. So then I'm mad because I didn't save any time. But this is my favorite part about the 322. And I was I have to wait until I do this to tell you. Remember, I was oh my God, there was dead traffic, and then there was an accident.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck behind this Toyota Tundra or whatever, and it's a big truck, and there's a woman there with this rat nest of a bun on the top, definitely giving Cookie Monster pajama pant energy, right? And I think she thinks I'm riding her ass, and I would never. But she stops in the middle of a green light. In the middle of a green light, we have the turn. We have the turn arrow too. So it's not like she's waiting for traffic to come. She's stopped in the middle of it. So I boop boop a little bit, just at a boop boop moment. She flips me off. And then she proceeds to brake check me for the entirety of the 322 to get from Westchester into the actual borough, okay? And I'm getting annoyed by this. And I'm not even, and she keeps brake checking. She slams at the person in front of her.
No.
The justice I
Karma
felt and then drove.
Karma is a big bitch.
It was a big bitch. But if you have someone that gets this worked up over traffic, red flag.
For sure.
Red flag.
The same thing happened to me the other day crossing over 30. I was behind them, and when the light turns green, I'm very much let's go. Because also my car beeps as soon as the light turns green.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting there. So I honked, and then they flipped me off. I'm listen, I gave you at least 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And you haven't moved. So then they just sit there longer. And I'm
because they get mad. Who you proving a point? Now you're going to be late, baby.
You were scrolling your phone.
100%.
Just own it and start going.
Listen, it's they're going to sit there. They're going to do that thing that they do where they wait. And then when it turns yellow, they go. So you can't. If you don't think I'm running that red light so I can drive right up behind you. And again, I know this is toxic energy. I shouldn't do that. I don't get angry often, but when I do, it's road rage.
Yeah.
And when I do, it's... And to get road rage in Philly, that's not safe.
I can't drive in Philly.
You'll be pew-pewing over a red light.
It's happened in Westchester before.
It wasn't me though.
Well, thank God.
Probably. So we were talking about Lavender loves
Yes.
red flag relationships.
Yes.
So we thought we would do an episode about talking about our exes and bad relationships that we know about.
Because we both have so few of them.
We very
really
little.
Wanting for material.
We are just sitting there trying to reach, you know. And then talk about this concept that I thought most people knew about, and I've been making jokes about it online since the election.
People don't.
They don't know about the lavender marriages,
No.
right? Do you know what you know what a lavender marriage is?
Obviously.
Okay. So if you don't, just know as we talk about these red flags, you always have the option of entering a lavender marriage or relationship. And then I actually asked some of my followers, like, do you guys know what this is and what questions do you have? So I'll answer them later on after we talk about the red flags. But just so you're aware, as we talk about this, what a lavender marriage or relationship is, the coin was termed actually like at the very beginning of the 20th century, particularly when, you know, Hollywood was like bigger than it is now. But it was during the Lavender Scare in the U.S., and it essentially was when a marriage between a man and woman took place primarily to cover or conceal one of the partner's sexuality and or for political reasons. A lot of times women had more rights if they were married. So it was both mutually benefited from the relationship, but it was generally when, you know, a gay man married a woman for political protection.
And in Hollywood then.
It was very, very, very big in Hollywood. And then people would do it outside of Hollywood if, like, the woman wanted to, like, own property or, you know, have her own credit card because, you know, that didn't happen until, like, what, the 80s or something ridiculous like that. And so it was, like, a mutually beneficial thing that people did. And that I jokingly was like, hey, we might have to enter lavender marriages again, given that they want us to send back to the 1820s for, you know, marriages right now.
Camps.
God, yeah.
Send all the gays to the farm camps.
Yeah. Baby, you don't want to do that. That's just going to be like, I don't know, a gay cruise at that point.
Right?
And you're going to make us all...
would have to follow us there because that would be like the best temptation island.
Can you imagine? It's like, you want me to get strung lifting all these heavy bases of hail and stuff like that, or hay or whatever it is. I'm just like, oh no. I'll do it. I'll be a cowboy. You know, it's fun. But before we get to enter, I guess, lavender marriages, either because people suck or politics is awful, we have exes to talk about.
We do.
Do you have a favorite worst ex?
I truly couldn't even, if I had to rank them, I don't know. It would be difficult.
It wouldn't be like the pyramid and Dance Moms.
Yeah. For some reason, Colleen's been super into all my ridiculous ex stories lately. Like, we were on the phone with the president of the Booster Club, you know, Colleen coaches lacrosse. And Colleen's like, tell her the story about the pen. Tell her the story about your ex's dating. Tell her. I'm like, is this humiliating Anne-Marie hour? Are you paying me back for every time I humiliate you on the podcast?
She's like, that is exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Isn't it wild though that some of the ex's stories we don't. I mean, maybe we do realize it's not to our benefit because I'm like, this is so embarrassing this happened to me, or that sometimes I let this happen, I let it go on for a little too long. But then I'm like, if it makes someone giggle or it makes them be like, oh my God, I'm in this same type of relationship.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I think my two exes story, I really think that it would be too dramatic for Bravo. I think people would think it was scripted.
It was made up.
For sure.
I think that's how you usually know when something is so real, because you couldn't create that in your head. There's no ChatGPT prompt that would be here's this is.
Here's the storyline.
Yeah.
No. That all started with the dead cat.
The dead cat?
Yeah, I've told you this story before, haven't I?
I don't remember it.
Okay, so I'll just let's just get into it. So I was dating. Speaking of lavender marriages, I worked with this girl who was engaged to a man, but was actively engaging in relationships with women. So it's not like I came around and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm suddenly a lesbian."
Right.
I mean, some people are like that, but not her. She was already getting busy. But she was engaged to a man. So I guess she was on this lavender-ish path.
Yeah.
So we start dating. We break up after a year. And a couple months later, I started dating this other person. And a month or so into dating, the cat that my ex, let me just name them. We'll call her Pam.
Pam.
And then we'll call the second ex Sailor.
Pam and Sailor.
Pam and Sailor, okay? Little rhyme with their actual names. So So Pam and I had a cat that she really loved. And while I was dating Sailor, we had to put the cat to sleep.
Okay.
So because I'm such an emotionally developed and mature person, I called Pam and said, we have to put Sunny to sleep. Like, do you want to come and say goodbye to Sunny? Blah, blah, blah. So we put the cat to sleep. Everyone's sobbing, obviously. It's horrific. Come back to my house, and Sailor shows up after work. Like, 2 ships passing in the night, right? Now, because I have some, like, fucked up awkwardness response, I'm like, oh, this is so funny. Like, let's take a picture of this. Like, them too. And so I brought the picture to show you because it'll be relevant later that this is the first picture that these individuals have had. Now, I want you to note that Sailor is grinning like a serial killer. You can't see it because I was nice enough to cover their faces, but...
You took a picture of just the 2 of them.
Correct.
Are you guys eating sushi?
Yes.
Wait.
She brought sushi because she worked at a restaurant.
Are those like beginner chopsticks?
Yeah, they really are. It's so embarrassing. Oh my God. Yeah, look at this thumbs up. Like, what the fuck is that?
I just think it's so funny that it's not a picture of the 3 of you. It is literally just the 2 of them.
I think sometimes I'm like a little bit psychic. So I'm in my fucked up head. I must have been like, this is a good idea.
You provided their first photo for them.
Yeah. Like if we'll get to the end of the story, but this may become valuable.
Oh my God, no. I thought you could see you taking the photo in the background. I was about to piss my
pants.
Can you? No, I thought it was. I was like, I'm dead.
Oh my God.
Technically, the 3 of you are in it.
Yeah. So here we are, thumbs up, and Pam is sitting awkwardly per usual. Okay. So that happened, and it was just like, passing, whatever. And I didn't think anything of it after that. Like, the photo just sat in my phone. I literally just yesterday just, like, scrolled back to 2018 and was like, it has to be here. And there it was. So that was in July. So Sailor and I broke up in August because why not? It wasn't anything dramatic, but it was just like, bleh, Now, let me be clear. There was absolutely no reason for them to ever know each other.
Right.
Like, the chances they would ever meet outside of like this weird interaction with me are like lower than clearly my standards were in
Obviously,
2018.
yeah.
And like after that day, like I worked with Pam. I met Sailor on some dating app.
Yeah.
Who knows back in 2018 what it was. Like, Pam lived in New Jersey. Sailor was from the South. Like,
they have no connection at all.
No connection. Yeah. Never had a connection. I thought they would never have a connection, right?
Well,
now for some reason they both wanted to stay friends with me, just like individually, right? Like, and because I have like the backbone of a wet noodle, I was like, sure, that's a great idea. Let's do that. I'm so evolved.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be friends with 2 exes at the same time. So we would hang out sometimes. I like met her. I met Sailor at the casino a few times. Pam came over a few times, like platonically. Pam watched my animals for a couple times. We would like text about random things, whatever. So then about like a couple weeks before Christmas, I was on Facebook, and Pam and I had this mutual friend who I knew was getting married. And one day I had noticed she had like posted a wedding album, but I just like didn't look at it or whatever. And for some reason I went back to it, and then she was still friends with me, this girl.
Yeah.
But for some reason her whole Facebook was like wiped clean. Like she went into witness protection or something. Like, it was all gone.
It's gone.
Like, no albums,
Sketchy.
no wall, nothing.
Wild.
Like digital tumbleweeds.
Nothing's there.
Nothing.
No one's home.
So I'm like, that's really weird. And then so I just, move on, because what would that mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. I thought maybe she was taking a social media break. Now, fast forward to Christmas, literal Christmas morning. Okay. So I was single on Christmas, so I woke up Christmas morning in my house, living my best life, empowered woman in front of my Christmas tree, sipping on hot cocoa, eating my Christmas cookies, and I got a text from a coworker that had worked with me and Pam, and the text was a picture. Okay, so I look at the picture and I'm like, this looks like it's from a wedding, and like it doesn't register at first. All I see is like a human sandwich of like two people crowded around this person, like two velociraptors, like strangling their prey in this like awkward
Jurassic moment.
Awkward like dance position. Like I just learned how to have rhythm, but it's failing type situation.
Oh my God.
Okay, are you ready for it?
No. They were at a wedding. They were at the wedding.
The two velociraptors are my two exes. The ones that had no reason.
That is way too much bow on a dress. Or the ruffles? What is that?
It's very unclear, but I just need you to look at the shoes because they're offensive.
Yeah, those are some penny loafers. And not cute penny loafers. My God. Right? What is going on? And the other one looks like they're wearing... Are those not slippers? What in the Daisy Duck is going on with those shoes? Those are some chunky, like... No, those are the Minnie Mouse, shoes. Like, those are like the Dutch wood heeled... I don't know what that mess is.
And as you can see, even though I put the happy face over Sailor's face, she's like doing one of those like moments that are not cute. Like first we have the serial killer thumbs up, and now we have
There's a lot happening.
Right.
And also... Was that the friend's wedding?
The one that
that wipes everything clean.
To tumbleweeds, okay?
That's weird.
So then I'm thinking to myself, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Yeah. Like what is this, right? So then I'm like, not only did this picture exist,
right,
but then someone had the forethought to tell this person whose wedding it was. And trust me, Pam is the most socially awkward human on the face of the earth and probably talk to her friend like twice a year maybe.
Yeah.
So like to be that calculated that you're like, hey girl, take down your wedding album for Anne-Marie because we don't want her to see our like Mickey Mouse Velociraptor human sandwich.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I get this photo anyway. And then I'm like, what in the actual fuck, you crazy bitches? Like, do you have, like, an actual group chat that's like, let's gaslight Emery? Was this, like, some, like, CIA operation about, like... They have been dating since August.
Literally since you broke up.
Yes.
They immediately started dating.
Yes. So the entire time that we're, quote-unquote, friends...
They're lovers.
Right. But independently talking to me, doing things with me and whatever, like... What was the plan?
That's
was it just
so
like
weird?
I know. And I was trying to think about like the mental health like issues related to that. And I mean, clearly they both have fucked up attachment issues, but like why not just like
say
not
something?
Speak to me again?
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to tell me. Just like
well, my thing is if you
ghost me,
right?
Please.
Like ghost you, or if for some reason something. Well, no, it's not that. It did develop. It developed. It was fully developed, baby, in August. Like that's wild.
It is wild.
Just like not talk to you anymore. Like go do that. Go do that in private.
Yes.
Okay, we don't need to know.
Right. And like what so they wanted to hide the wedding photos. So like was the plan to just continue indefinitely both speaking to me?
Yeah.
Like did they get some sort of like rush out of it?
I always wondered that. Like what was your plan here, babes? Like that was a very short-term thinking thing.
Was it? Because they were still trying to hide it at Christmas, and at that point you're almost 6 months in.
Baby, you almost have a full baby. Like, what's going on?
So I see this ridiculous picture, right? And like then like completely dissociate into my cookie, and I'm like what? Do you know that I didn't take my Christmas decorations down for 2 years after that?
You're joking.
I was frozen in time. Like at first it was a trauma response, and then I think it was just like I'm going to drown in the winter wonderland of my own humiliation for the next 2 years.
Girl, that's a blue Christmas.
Yep.
That's a hard candy Christmas.
Yep.
But here's the thing that I think that you actually were doing. You were like, I want to save the work for me.
Yeah.
And so you're like,
for sure.
First off, Christmas decorations are appropriate for Halloween, the night before Christmas.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. So really, if you think about it, you really saved yourself time and heartbreak. And you're allowed to, I think, keep your Christmas stuff up until like halfway through January because you're still doing Christmas activities.
Right. I just kept it up January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
Yeah, all year round, baby.
Do you know? And I haven't put up Christmas decorations since.
No.
Since I took them down after the 2 years. Yeah.
Is that why putting decorations up at the office was so traumatic?
Yes.
Oh, my
and
God,
you really did not give me any grace. You were just like, we're fucking doing this Pinterest thing. There's 0 instructions on it. We're going to stay up all night and do this. And then, Imri, I'm going to make you so fucking miserable. And then I'm going to rip it down 5 minutes after the party. And that's what you did.
I did. I was like, I went in the next day to clean up from the party and like throw away like the punch and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what? Might as well get ahead of it because we were going to me and Jason were going to West Virginia, and I just like
let me
be
clear about what Tell wanted to do with these Christmas decorations. He wanted to line the entire ceiling with lights, like back and forth lights with garland on the sides. Okay, so we spend no less than 8 hours putting little tiny hooks in lines all over the ceiling. Now, to the point where afterward, once this asshole pieced out to West Virginia, I had to go to the Home Depot and get a color match to the ceiling because when Tell ripped off all the hooks, it also ripped off all the paint.
Oh my
and
God.
Not only that, but I see the woman who sent me this goddamn photo in the Home Depot.
That's right.
With her new lesbian girlfriend who wasn't a lesbian when I worked with her.
Everyone's coming up lesbian.
So then I had to avoid them, get the fucking ceiling paint, and that's what happened. The ceiling was up for one day.
The ceiling was up for one day, but the memories will last us a lifetime.
I already had Christmas decoration trauma, and then you just made it worse.
But you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
Well, I didn't even get to the best part of the story, though.
Which was what?
To my knowledge, they're still together.
This is what I'm going to say about this, though. I've talked about this a lot, about like an ex fucking you over or something. Surprisingly, I feel like it happens to a lot of people. I would rather, in my opinion, if someone fucks me over that bad, you better be lifetime fucking partners, have 12 kids, go on vacation with the families twice a year kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Because if you have the audacity to fuck me over like that, and it only lasts a few months, I'm going to be pissed. You blew up everyone's life for a few months? No. I don't like it.
I just hope, so that was what, 2018, so 7 years. I hope that every day that July that they celebrate this photo and they thank me every year.
You know, because every couple does that. Every couple thinks, what's the first photo we took? You know?
They probably don't even have this. If you guys are watching, hit me up. I'll send it to you.
She'll un-cartoon it.
I'll take the faces off so you guys can have it for your couples album.
Funny.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had exes date each other. I say that very loosely because I say that. I'm like, I don't feel confident in that. I feel like you absolutely have. I did, however, have an ex start dating his best friend while dating me and was lying to me about it. And I thought I was going crazy. We were playing a game this weekend, me and Jason did. And it was like, have you ever followed an ex, or have you ever followed like your significant other or something to see what they were doing? I was like, no, I've never done that. And then I go, well, I have a question. Like, is driving past their house at like 2 a.m. following them? And Jason's like, ew, yeah. And I was like, okay, first of all, don't make me feel bad. But I was also like, let me take you all back to 2009. Okay. I'm a freshman, and I'm sorry, 2010 because it was that summer. I'm a freshman in college, and I was dating only my second guy ever. And immediately I was like, if many of you don't know, I was wrongfully diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I'm not bipolar, and I was put on what was it, lithium and something else,
Zyprexa.
Yeah, and this sent me into a quite literally psychotic episode, and I was like, it's fine. I'm in college. That's why I'm not sleeping for 5 days. So I was dating this guy and unwell, and like to be fair, looking back, we're gonna call him Daniel. I have dated Daniel, not this Daniel. We'll call him Daniel though. Poor Daniel, I set him through the ringer. I think I told you at one point, I was like, you know what, guys? I have not slept in 5 days, and suddenly I can fly. I can. And tried to. Could not, turns out. He had to grab me before I jumped off of a parking garage because I was like, guys, it's fine. I can fly. So put this guy through the ringer a little bit. But I just had this inkling of a twinkling that he was seeing someone else, right? And he had like this best friend, we're gonna call him Jason, obviously not my Jason. And I was like, I don't know, they're just like a little too close. And I find out like a month into a relationship that they had previously like dated, but like they weren't into each other anymore, but they dated. I'm like, I don't like that because they're BFFs, right? And I just felt like very gaslit all the time. And then at one point we were texting, he's like, oh, sorry, I fell asleep. And I was like, oh, and he's like, yeah, sorry, I just got home. Like, I'm gonna go to bed. And I'm like, that doesn't sit right with me. That doesn't sit right with my soul. So I jump into my best friend's car because at my freshman year I didn't have a car at school. And then I drove past his house and I'm like, okay, this checks out. His car is there and it's just his car. Everything's fine. I did think it was weird. His car wasn't in the garage though. But like that's neither here nor there. I go back and I'm just like, tell you all crazy. This man loves you. He wouldn't do that. Fast forward to Good Friday, and I'm getting ready to go back home for Easter. Why? I don't know. And so he's like, hey, I just want to come by and talk to you. And I was like, that's weird. Okay. Because we were supposed to like hang out, I think, all day, but he just went from let's hang out to let's just talk. And it didn't seem like a week, which is super strange. He comes by, he comes to my apartment, he sits me down. He uses, and I can't remember because I genuinely blocked out, something like Scooby-Doo analogy. I wish I could. I don't know, babes. Wish I could tell you. I was blinded by anger, and he was like, "We're breaking up. I don't think this is working for either of us." And I'm like, "Ruh-roh." He leaves, but like as he was leaving too, I was like, something just again wasn't right. I figure out that Sunday from friends of a friends of a friends that he was in my apartment, broke up with me for like 30 minutes, left. His ex, his best friend, Jason, was in the car, slouched over so I couldn't see him. The worst part was my ex was trying to be so nice and like help me take my luggage downstairs so I could leave and I think it was just like, and so I'm like, everything just felt weird. He was in the car the whole time. So that man sat in an unconditioned car, may I might remind you, for 30 minutes with the seat down so I wouldn't see him.
Oh my God.
And drove away. I don't trust him, but this kid's mom's still obsessed with me. And I love knowing that they dated for like a month, if that. A month, and they broke up. It didn't work. Going back to an ex is like put on a dirty pair of underwear, I think. Yeah, it's never going to work. I know. We all have. We don't feel good about it, but it feels out of necessity.
Germany girl, the one that we talked
you
about last week.
You did not go back after Germany?
After a full year, Yep. So the pen incident happened in between where I dated the girl where I caught her with the spy pen.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was a great idea to be like, I understand that I got broken up with on the plane on the way home from Germany and then mailed 13 boxes of gnomes back to you afterward.
Not the gnomes.
But we should get back together. We sent out a Christmas card that was like, we're back.
No.
Swear to God.
Anne Marie, shut the fuck up.
Swear to God.
We're back. And everyone's like, you shouldn't be.
Right. They
said, ma'am, you needed to let that die over the Atlantic.
Yep.
Let that sink.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not that. Was that the only time you went back to an ex?
Yeah.
I did go after bread guy again.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
We're gluttons for punishment.
That's so funny. Gluttons for gluten, too. I was saying, I've told the story 1,000 times, but it just needs to be said. I was dating this guy who looked like God herself carved him out of marble and gold and then sent him down on a like bubble cloud. It was stacked for the gods. And I was like, I didn't realize like the difference between like lust and love. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that. I found the one. He was getting a degree in business psychology. And I was like, is that a thing? His PhD in it, sorry. He's very smart. And I was like, oh, and he's getting a degree in mental health, which means that like he's going to be so like emotionally intelligent. No, like beware of us, like it's weird up there. So we're dating for a while. He's really like strange and controlling, but also was older than me. So I was like, oh, he's just like trying to better me, but would be like, oh, you like soda? Don't drink soda. Drink like Crystal Light instead. I'm like, okay, and I love Crystal Light. And he was like, oh, you shouldn't wear your hair like that. Wear it like this. And oh, you shouldn't. And like every time I'd go visit, it was like, we should work out. And he'd work out for 20 minutes in khakis and a polo, and I would be like changed into like he wouldn't break a sweat and be like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, but that's that's how he got the body he does. He just looks so precise about it, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. I go from like, I don't even know, 150 pounds to 120 some. And like, I was like it was
That sounds less than ideal.
not healthy at all. And this all like, I think I kind of alluded to the story before. We're sitting down at dinner, lunch, whatever. And we're talking about like his goals for me. And and I had ordered like some kind of sandwich, and he does too. This is the gag though, because he's not like eating differently for the most part. Like he would make a tray full of brownies, and he would like have half of it and like give me a little. And he's like, just like it's all about moderation, bitch. And so I'm sitting there, and this waiter hands us our food, and the waiter doesn't even step away. And he grabs my plate, takes the buns off it, hands it back to the waiter, and the waiter isn't gone yet. He goes, I work hard in my body, and I deserve to date someone with a six-pack.
Oh my
And the waiter goes, I guess mortified. I'm like, and anyone with self-respect would have laughed, and I had none. So I finished eating my sandwichless bunned food, and then was like, on the way, we got a huge fight. I was like, we're breaking up. This is it. And then like, I think I got like halfway home, and I was like, oh my gosh, no. Give him a second chance. Let's stay. And I did.
That's how I was too.
But for another 3 months.
Oh, I think I told you, Pam, the same one in the story with the exes, whatever. She used to say like boobs are just a marker of how quote unquote fat you are.
That's not how that works.
Yeah. So basically, she was saying like, Emery, you're fat.
Does she not know how anatomy works?
Clearly not.
What is wrong with her?
But she was like obsessed with like how she looked like body wise because like face wise that was
it's always that.
But yeah, she would like body shame me all the time, I feel like, in the most like covert way possible. Like I think one of the times that we actually talked about them being together or whatever, because I entertained like giving them shit for like maybe a week before I blocked them. She said something like, I would never touch you again. Yeah. And I was like, okay. She was like, it's not only that you gained weight, it's that, like you're a terrible person, whatever it was. And now joke's on you, girl, because my wife looks like Megan Fox.
She does. Talk bad about my personality, but don't talk bad about my look. Call me crazy, but wait, that's wild. Do you know what I think is a huge red flag that I don't think we talk enough about?
What?
Joint Facebook accounts.
What? Is that a thing?
Girl, are you kidding? You've never seen this like Joanne and Devin Miller or something like that?
No.
Are you joking?
No.
Oh, I eat it up. I'm sitting there. It's like corn on the cob to me. When I see a couple go from separate Facebook accounts to a combined one, and I'm like, oh, what happened? Because something did.
Yeah.
Something did. And I love every moment of it. I love that drama. I'm that person that if I'm seeing a red flag situation happening between two people, and they go blank for a while and come back with that, you have to tell us. You have an obligation to tell the masses what's going on.
Someone was sliding into those DMs.
And someone was responding to them too. They were. And I love coming back to. I've never seen a combined Instagram account yet.
Oh, I think I have.
See, that's odd that we've seen the. But that's a weird thing. Because I'm like, Facebook is a necessity, but like Instagram's a luxury. You know what I mean? Like not everyone gives a shit about those photos, but like I give a shit about what you have to say on the Facebook. Believe you me. I love the mess for that, That's wild.
That is one thing that is like so refreshing about being with Colleen, that we never were like, we need to look at each other's phones or whatever. Or like, even if we like are on each other's phones, like there's no like anxiety or whatever. Because she always uses my phone because I have the DoorDash subscription, and for some reason she won't just fucking log into her DoorDash account on
and get it.
My DoorDash on her phone. So she's like, I need a DoorDash on your phone. But like in the past, like with other relationships, it was like I needed to like steal the phone and like go in the bathroom and lock the door and be like.
So I feel like, okay, I know we shouldn't.
What?
I've done that. Not to Jason now. This was like
I've done that too, obviously. I put a pen recorder in my ex's car.
Dude, the amount of times I've thought about that, that's wild and I love it.
I caught that bitch finally.
Yeah, from a pen recorder. But did it have a GPS on it too, or just the
No,
sound?
I had tried a GPS before, and this bitch was like fucking Sherlock Holmes. She caught everything I tried to do. I knew she was cheating. Like, she was a pharmacist, and like I would look at like when she was going to be home, so I'd see where her location was, and the little dot would be in the parking lot. And I'm like, why is the dot in the parking lot? Like, are you coming home? She's like, oh, Emery, you know that dot's not accurate, but like it's in the fucking back of the Walgreens the whole day. So then it becomes inaccurate at 9 o'clock at night. No,
that's the gag, though.
Right.
Like, why suddenly is it inaccurate?
Right. Exactly. So anyway, I had tried to catch her in like 10,000 different ways, and she just like gaslit me the entire time. And like me being the idiot I was like, oh, you're so right. Your phone only malfunctions at 9 p.m. You're so right. And you didn't answer your phone and weren't at your uncle's house where you thought you were because you were vomiting in the bathroom somewhere. That's true. Okay. So I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm figuring something out.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, a pen. So I was going to St. Louis for the weekend. And I knew I had to get a pen with long enough battery life to catch it. And if you look at like pen recorders, it's hard to find one that has multiple day battery life.
I thought it'd be hard to find a pen recorder.
Oh no. I found one and I planned it out. I was like, you're going to drive me to the airport, right? Whatever. So I have like my fake like work notes and whatever. Like I'm writing stuff on the way there. And then I'm about to get out of the car and I just go bloop right into the like side pocket. You know, and I was like, here we go.
Can you listen to it in real time or do you have to wait?
No, you have to wait. But I bet there is one now that you could listen to in real time. That would have been so good.
See, this is the thing that like gaslighting, you have to understand, makes the other person feel like they're going crazy. When someone's gaslighting you, like that is so wild. But at the same time, like I need to feel justified in my crazy. Because like it is so unfair for you. Like, no, nothing's going on. But there is.
That was the level I was at. Like, I just couldn't, like, end the relationship with just being, like, gaslit the whole time, like, not being vindicated.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I get that.
So I get home, and I fetch the pen recorder out of the car. And I think that's where I miscalculated because I think I was a little too obvious fetching the pen because I only got like 20 minutes into the recording when she like busted back in the house and was like, did you record me?
Like she Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, I don't know what she probably like installed cameras in the house or something. But the part I did listen to was like this girl that she had been cheating on me with the whole time was like, you know, like, are you going to follow through with our plans? Like, you know, really need to leave and, like, we need to start our life together and you deserve better and, like, we're on to bigger and better things. Meanwhile, girlfriend works part-time at a doggy daycare. So I don't know what bigger and better things that she thought that this lady was moving on to, but that ain't it.
No. Oh, my gosh. Mm-hmm. All from a pen recorder.
Yep. And she's still with that girl too.
See, well, look at you bringing people together.
I think I told you before. Every single person I dated married the person they dated after me.
Every person I've dated is, I think, still single.
Oh my God.
I think one got married.
Clearly, I'm a great therapist. 2
got married. You a matchmaker, baby. You're not you a matchmaker at this point. Oh my God.
Yep. Even my high school boyfriend.
Again, matchmaker. Mm-hmm. I think that says a lot about you, though. It's like you make sure the person is like ready. Mm-hmm. You leave them better than you found them.
Maybe
they don't leave you in the same way, but you did.
This girl was like, I can't risk a bitch catching me with a pen recorder again. I just got to go with this.
I know every time. A bitch hate to see you coming with a pen.
No, never.
Wait, hold on. I'd say the most ironic and most hilarious part about this entire story, though.
What?
You told me this story weeks after, like, the first Christmas, where you gave me a cup full of pens.
Oh, my God. Stop. Did I really?
I am out.
Oh my God! Did you check them all for
No,
recording devices?
I'm not that fun of a person. I'm like, if she ever wanted to hear conversations I'm having, she would be so bored. But I was like, 'cause you got me a little like mug, and it's just full of a bunch of like pens, and I was like, that is so funny. Like I got such a giggle. That and there wasn't none of them were heavy. I can't imagine it's like a light recorder and a microphone, but
I don't think it was. She stole the pen, so I never even had.
oh, I'd be so mad.
I know.
But at least let me keep it.
I know.
Like delete what's on there, but
Right.
like I spent money on that.
I know. But luckily, I didn't need it again after that. That's when I revisited the Germany girl, and she didn't cheat. She was just fucked. I mean, maybe she did cheat. Who knows?
It's Germany. When in Germany.
Actually, she did cheat the first time with, get this, her ex's ex-wife.
Oh, that's not very nice.
I know.
I don't.
How do I get involved with these people?
At this point, who knows? But like, my thing is like, I have. Why can't we just like not date within that circle anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you break up with someone, or like, why would you go to their ex or your ex's new beau or whatever it is? Like, baby, that I don't know. That's gonna hurt my feelings more than you breaking up with me.
I haven't done that.
No.
Least.
Oh, I could. I feel way too guilty doing that. That one guy I dated my freshman year, I did so badly want to date one of his friends, but I just couldn't bring myself to it, and his friend wasn't that cute. I was like, don't date someone just because you're angry. That's not nice, you know?
Yeah.
I did have an ex. I feel like a huge red flag is if the person like has to be in contact with you at every like moment of the day. Like, when I'm like out and about, or like when I have to fly to LA this weekend, like I can guarantee you, me and Jason might exchange 4 or 5 texts like each day, if that. I just am like there's like enough like comfortability and confidence that like everything's gonna be fine. I one time went to a movie with my straight best friend, Zach. I wish I could tell you which movie it was. In the course of an hour and a half movie, my ex called me 76 times.
What?
Called me 76 times. I left my phone in my car. I don't even think I had a smartphone yet. I left it in my car. I did not. I had a flip phone that could flip like this and this. So you could like this and you could flip it and then you could. Yeah,
wow.
it was super nifty.
Nifty.
I left it there. I get back to my car 76 times. I call him back to be like, is someone dead? He's like, who are you with? And I'm like, Zach, we saw a movie. And he's like, are you guys fucking? I'm like, it's my straight best friend.
Oh,
and we went
God.
to a movie. No, we're not. But I didn't, this like weird feeling. He was best friends with this guy. We'll call him Bob. And everyone's like, oh, he's in love. He's in love with Bob. I don't know what it is about guys I date that are in love with their best friends. Like, just do something about it or do nothing about it. But I couldn't figure out why he's so insecure about Zach. He's like my straight best friend.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I think he's in love with Bob. So I asked one of his like, girlfriends, like, oh, what's going on here? She's like, oh, I think he is. I meet Bob. Bob looks just like me.
Oh,
Bob
no.
looks just like eerie, creepy amount looks just like me. And I'm like
a Walmart version of you?
Kind of. I mean, he might have been more attractive than I was, but like,
what?
He was very pretty.
Oh.
And I was like, they're in a frat together too. Should have known.
Oh.
Should have done known. But I'm like, damn, Bob, like, we kind of look like the same. This is like a Parent Trap moment. But if I had like better skin and was like more muscular at the time. And then I think I remember going down for like Halloween, and I was dressed like Tarzan for some reason. And I look over at him and Bob talking, and I was like, oh, I see what this is now. I get it. I don't think Bob's ready, and I don't think that my ex is ready. So I left, and I hurt. And they never dated. Never
really?
dated. No, I think they're just again those two ships passing in the night. But like I should have known he's a doctor now.
Bob?
No, my ex is a doctor now.
Oh.
I don't know what Bob does. I don't think Bob and him talk anymore, actually. Which is like, see, I'm the opposite.
They're fraternity brothers. That's like for life.
Well, I don't know, baby. I don't know about that. But that was also like, gave me a complete wrong idea of what a fraternity was supposed to look like. Because this was like at a private school in Indiana. It was beautiful. The campus was. This fraternity home was gorgeous. Gorgeous. They had like a chef there and everything. And I thought that's how like every fraternity was. It is not that.
No.
It's not that. Because then when I would go to like frat parties when I was in college, and I was like, why is the floor sticky like this? Why is this a literal house? This ain't an estate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm scared.
I went to Penn State, so there were no like nice frat mansions. It was like decrepit.
You're like,
It was like
this
how
the
much
crack
Natty Light
house?
could
Yeah.
possibly be
Oh.
spilled on the floor. Like
Natty
people,
Light.
we had what we called the poopy bandit that used to like shit in frat houses on the floor.
Wait. Wait. This is so off topic, but you said the poopy because we've talked about that. I don't know how I forgot this. Sometimes I worry about why my memory is so fucked. So off topic, but I did a production of Seussical the Musical, and we were all on stage. Every single person in the entire cast on stage, and all hands are on deck. No one could go downstairs, right? And it's a good 15 minutes at the end of that act. We go downstairs, and we all go to the dressing room, and we're like, what is this foul odor aroma?
No.
And someone had took a massive shadoobie. I'm talking a shoeboxer, and didn't flush it.
Oh, it was actually in the toilet, though?
It was in the toilet. Thank God.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like out and about like it was at Penn State. This was
Oh.
this was a shadoobie in the toilet. They did not flush it though. They didn't try to flush it. And we, for the rest of the time, called it the Poopy Bandit. And we were like,
Oh my God,
like
that's
a
so funny.
documentary Netflix show, try to figure out who it could have been. And right away, thank God, I was like, people were like, well, one, it wasn't because he can't poop in public. And number two, he was on stage. He wouldn't have had time. I still, to this day, don't know who the Poopy Bandit was. This was 5 years ago.
I don't think we ever found out who the serial poopy bandit was at Penn
Penn State.
State. Maybe they're still operating.
That is a red. If someone can
Huge
drop
red
their
flag.
drawers like that,
Well, they shit on my car, too, the poopy bandit. Skid mark on the car. My poor lesbian Subaru before I knew I was a lesbian.
stop. Oh my God.
Shit on.
If someone's pooping in public like that, like unabashedly.
They left their boxer shorts, remember?
I can't. I cannot.
Red flag.
What is your biggest, before we get into like the questions of Lavender marriages and relationships and everything, what is for you, like if a friend, if a client, if you yourself, like what is like the biggest red flag?
That's really difficult. I think a huge red flag is when you first meet someone and all they do is trash their ex while
Yep.
simultaneously acting like you're the greatest thing that ever happened.
100%. That big red flag.
I've been trying to like counsel my friend now from the military because he's like newly single. And he's like telling me all about this girl and she's so amazing and whatever. And I'm like, sweetheart, love bombing.
Is he?
Like he's like,
Oh,
I
she is.
canceled my date with this other person, whatever. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. Because this girl's telling him like, a woman should like have a meal prepped for you when you come home from work and blah blah blah. And I'm like, listen,
This
ain't nobody. This is not it.
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
never
not
doing
it.
that. I'm gonna pull Mrs. fucking Doubtfire and just order it and throw it on a plate and lie. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Yeah, we can't be trashing our exes.
No.
We can't. We don't. I mean,
That's a
we
lie.
are now.
I can for sure trash my exes because
but not
I mean this,
right, but not like to someone that we're dating. That's so
Yeah.
different. Because like I feel like
Well, and also like these are like fun stories. So like when I would tell them to people I dated, it wasn't like, oh my God, they did this,
Right.
this, and this, and this, and this.
we're also
this,
not
and
doing the
this.
first date.
I mean, maybe I did. I don't know.
Oh, I'm my own red flag.
I might.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, exactly. I probably did have some red flags.
I think
I know you can ask Colleen.
my biggest red flag, which is every time I say people are like, holy shit, is when someone is telling you small lies.
Oh yeah.
Instantly red flag
Yeah.
because it's
'Cause
like
there's no point.
there's no point in why, because then there's some like a bigger like if like I remember like almost immediately like was not friends with him anymore. I saw someone like just like passing by and they were eating at like Panera and I'm like, oh, okay, and we worked together, and so I was like, this was I don't know, I was working at Menards. It was like a home tool store, and I was like, so how was your lunch break? And they're like, oh, good, I just like went over to Burger King, and I was like. They're at Panera. Why would they lie about that? And I would find out that they would just lie about these very little things. And I was like, that is so strange. And it instantly red flags, like, I cannot talk to this person, be friends with them. It immediately, like, turned me off to that friendship so quickly. Don't let people lie about little things to you. It's very strange. I promise you there's no reason for it or, like, If there is, I'd rather you bet something big. Like your parents died and they never died. You just don't talk to them anymore.
Right.
Like I can get behind that. Yeah. Like, oh, like I just don't want to they're dead to me. I haven't talked to them in 20 years. Okay, that makes sense. For you to be like, I have 2 dads and you don't.
One thing I always tell my clients is you want someone to be consistent and their words to match their actions like from the beginning, because you can only meet someone where they're at, and you have to be okay with where they're at. If you're like, well, they could do blah, 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 and it could become blah, 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 and like maybe they'll be blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you have to accept them exactly the way they are in that moment.
And if they better themselves, great, but like you have to be okay with them now.
Right.
Yeah, we
you
can
have to be okay with if they don't.
Yeah, we can't be changing people that much. You know what I mean? Or expect people to. I think that's a really shitty thing too. Is like they might want to better themselves or whatever down the road, but like you can't be forcing that on someone. Like that gonna make me feel bad.
Right.
The lavender marriage question is, first of all, do you ever think you would, if you had to, you'd enter a lavender marriage?
Well, yeah, Jason and I have talked about it. If we need to switch partners,
Just a switcheroo moment.
Yeah.
So so someone asked, what are they? We explained that right at the beginning of it. Someone said, so we're both free to see who we want or no. A woman asked, like, in a lavender marriage, if they're allowed to. And I think that depends. Like, there's different types of lavender marriage. There's sometimes people went into the agreement, like, knowing that, like, one of them was gay and one of them needed the other benefits of it. And they're like, but, like, we're still going to do this and fully commit to it and, like, have children and stuff, So it's like you're marrying your best friend, but you also like don't want people to go outside of the relationship for whatever reason. Like it's a platonic marriage, I guess.
Right.
Someone asked, do they still happen? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if y'all been ever scrolling through the social medias and see a blatant obvious, or like there's a couple couples that are like, oh yeah, like we're best friends. He's gay, I'm not, or they're both gay or whatever. And they're like, we just decided that we don't want to date other people and everyone else sucks.
I told you a story about one.
Yeah. I mean, right? Like, it was there. It was happening.
Her fiance was aware. She wasn't hiding it from him.
Yeah. It's always so strange then. Like what, like, I mean, they obviously gained something out of it, right? That is like, a lavender marriage isn't that your significant other was lying to you the whole time. That's just cheating and lying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's that, like, you enter in it, all parties know. And he did. I wonder what his benefit was from it.
I don't know. It probably has some fucked up attachment issues.
Maybe. Are they only gay men and women, or is the woman gay with men considered one too? Yeah. A gay woman can marry a straight man.
Yeah.
Clearly. I mean, so we think. So we think. Yeah.
Well, it can be 2 gay people, a gay person, a straight person, a gay person, bisexual, 2 bisexual people, like any
quite literally any gender and any
sexuality.
Have at it. It's just it's literally just under the guise of like we need to appear heteronormative,
right?
And and
then,
this one always gets asked because people out there are just horny. And it's like, calm down, but they ask,
what?
Do they involve sex? I don't understand. If the guy is gay, how can he sleep with a woman? Well, sexuality is complex, babe, so I'm not here to explain that to you, but I guess some do. It's all about, like,
I mean, don't people sleep with people they're not attracted to all the time?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, whatever their genitalia is not, like, that relevant.
Right. So, I genuinely thought, like, when I was making these jokes that everyone knew about lavender marriages.
So did I, until I listened to, like, 7 podcasts yesterday. I just, like, searched lavender marriage, and then I was listening to them, and I was like, every one of these people define them completely differently, but also none of these people are gay. So they're just like, and the gays have to marry a straight person. And
yeah. So this one time was like, how selfish are gay men out there that they would marry that? I'm like, first of all, the woman knows. Like, no one's out there like, again, that's a lie. But like, I'm sorry, but if I had to marry a woman for, political reasons and stuff, you're telling me that the woman wouldn't enjoy, like, waking up with her bestie, taking our mental health pills together, and then giggling in bed for a good 15 minutes because it's scary waking up in the morning, and then having, like, a shower concert, helping each other get ready. Like, oh, you need me to fix that piece of hair in the back? I got you, and I'm going to curl it up or whatever. Like, that sounds like a blast. Having brunch together before going to work every day.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was basically what we did at my bachelorette party, except we were like completely inefficient and just laid next to each other ordering DoorDash.
100%. Where can we
Which
need
is
to
probably
order.
what our Lavender marriage would look like,
It
too.
would. It'd be like, we need breakfast, order it on the DoorDash.
We'd need Jason and Colleen to come over from their Lavender marriage and clean our house, cook us dinner, get us out of bed,
right?
Dress us, do our laundry.
And the important thing is, we in our Lavender marriage wouldn't require that, right? If girlfriend, if you marry me, like I'm not going to sit there and be like, I expect dinner to be ready when we get home, or
we
I
just
expect
Jason and Colleen to come take care of us.
Like I just need someone else to do that for us,
right?
Where, like if we got to pay someone to do it, or we got to have like a neighbor do it, because maybe the neighbor is going to be super like, like an ally and be like, we'll help out. But like, no, like my idea of a good time is like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you have to, make me a martini or whatever as soon as I get home. This isn't the 1950s, babe. We're going to sit there and drink a bottle of wine together and talk shit about Trump and watch, like, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Mm-hmm. Like, that's my idea of a good time.
Oh,
like,
for sure. Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm never waking you up early so we can go golf with the boys to do business. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, we're going to wake up late and go to drag brunch. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine.
Or stay in bed all day and online shop.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm like. I can't be. You're telling me that doesn't sound better than like being married to a straight man? Couldn't be me.
No. Oh,
that sounds scary.
I can't even imagine.
I can't.
Sounds yucky.
I'm like, thank God my sisters are with like good straight men that are kind and like actually want to be an active participant in the family. And to be fair, there are a lot of straight men that do, but you hear the horror stories.
For sure.
Couldn't be me.
No.
I'd be Lavender divorced so fucking fast.
Oh my God.
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either. But we might have to, so
no, it's
we
straight
should just
men,
prepare
though.
for it. Oh yeah, that's true.
We would never have to do that.
Yeah.
What would they do?
Straight men?
What would straight men do if all of these gays and gals just started like marrying each other? Oh. I bet that keeps them up at night.
They would go extinct.
We can keep a few good ones we can keep around. We'll protect them.
Yeah, we'll just like collect their sperm, put it in the banks.
I like them as people too.
Oh, you want the people too?
You're gone. Like all straight men.
Who are they going to marry then?
Huh?
Who are they going to marry?
We'll let them keep like their. We won't steal all their wives. We'll let them keep some of them. We'll go through the ones that you just like flip through. Like they have to go through an interview process.
We'll pick the best ones.
We'll pick the best of the best. No DEI hires here. We'll do all of that. It'll be fine. It'll be good. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this idea. The Lavender loves, but the red flag relationships.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably more red flags in non-Lavender relationships.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What is a little tip you have for the audience before we call it out on avoiding red flag relationships?
I think, like I said, like consistency is the most important thing. So if someone's like acting super into you 1 minute or for a period of days or weeks, and then they like withdraw and like you're like, what's going on? I'm not sure what's happening. Yep. And then they act super into you again. Mm-hmm. And you're sort of like on this roller coaster that you didn't consent to and that you can't get off of. It's like usually that doesn't get better.
Yeah.
So there's that. And number two, I feel like couples therapy is not started soon enough with the majority of couples. Yep. Like Colleen and I started couples therapy, I think like a month into dating, because I was like, I don't think two people intrinsically know how to communicate with each other or solve conflicts efficiently. That's not just like an innate thing that people have.
Yeah.
So why would you wait until you have a big conflict? Like, let's strategize how to talk to each other now so that we don't have those.
Yeah. No, I like the idea of going to couples counseling quicker or making sure both people are at least independently in therapy. Mm-hmm. My huge thing is like a weird one, but like you will figure out a lot about a person the first time you argue, and don't ignore those signs and how the person argues, because it says a lot about who they are. If when you're arguing they get really upset, but they're able to like emotionally regulate, or they get really upset and they just walk away and they come back and you're able to talk about it, great. If you're with someone who gets so upset that they start name calling and saying the most foul things to you, like that is a red flag to me, and it shows me that like there's a huge like lack of ability to communicate, and that just like it doesn't mean you get to be like running out the door right away, but be hyper aware of that, because I think like I'm always like, they're like, we're in love, we're moving in together. I'm like, have you had your first fight yet? We don't fight. Well, that's a problem, babe. You should argue. Maybe we shouldn't fight, but you should argue. And if you haven't had an argument yet,
right.
I'd wait.
I always say that I think any two people could be together and be successful in a relationship if both people are willing to work at it. So like if you have that person that gets super activated, can't regulate their emotions, says things they don't mean, like if you guys are then in therapy and individual therapy where you're working on conflict resolution and that person is working on decreasing their reactivity. Like, and their actions are consistent with their words and they're consistent. Like, you can have a relationship
100%.
because there are a lot of mental health disorders that cause dysregulation. Trauma causes dysregulation. But if that person's just like, well, this is just how I am, you have to deal with it. That's
why I'm like, you shouldn't be like out the door, because someone could be like, oh, I used to do that. I used to say the meanest thing, and I was like, this is not productive in arguing. And so it's like the person has to recognize it's an issue, one, and not just every time you like you said this, and this to me, they're like, well, you made me mad. It's like recognize it's an issue and then change the behavior. But I think it just, like I said, I think it tells a lot about like where someone's at. Like, thank God I stopped doing that, because I'm like, that's mean. That's nasty.
I was like that too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm like, I'm going, whoosh, you know?
Yeah. And I would say I almost never do that now.
I don't. If we name call when we're arguing, we're both like, I don't even know the last time we did that, but it like stop us in our trucks. We're like, ooh, I'm getting real mad if I'm name calling, because that's like not what we're fighting about.
Right.
Like,
right. To me, it's just like a sign of like complete dysregulation, where if Colleen and I, either one of us does it, I'm like, all right, this is like not going to be productive. Like one of us is not okay. So let's like pause.
Yep. I like that pause. We're just going to take a pause for a moment, because we're
pre-K pause.
We're going to take a pre-K pause, but it's like a premarital pause or something.
Yeah. A lavender pause.
Red
flag pause.
Oh my God. It should, if the red flag baby is red enough, it shouldn't be a pause. It should be a red flag run. I'm moving.
Fly that white flag.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Maybe eventually we'll talk about green flags, but
probably not.
That's not as fun.
No, definitely
not
not
at all.
Fun. I don't really have good stories about
that. I don't got good stories about green flags.
No.
We're gonna play like soft music in the background and have like
talk about our love stories.
Yeah, baby, I don't got the time.
No, it's no one wants to hear about that.
Thanks for joining us. We will be back next week. And I literally, it's going to be a little bit more than a week.
I know, because we're going
Friday.
to LA.
I know. But that means we'll be so prepared. Maybe I'll be somewhat tan. I don't know. I probably won't have time to do that. It's going to be 70 degrees. But
yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Thanks. But we'll be back next week. Let us know in comments. Follow us. Subscribe to us. Share us. I don't know. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Yeah. And we'll be back with another fun episode. Bye.